Hairstylist. I am checking in for our Shop Talk. This is my weekly show where we hairstylists can get together and talk about what is going on. I like to use VH1's new hit show, To Catch a Beautician, to kind of get things moving. So To Catch a Beautician is on VH1. It's hosted by Tamar, Braxton, and Johnny Wright. You know, I love me some Johnny Wright. He's an amazing hairstylist. He's known for styling people like Michelle Obama. And the other talk show host just jumped out of my head, but I love her new show, Short Hair Client. So he's awesome. He's been in the game over 20 years. The premise of this show is they invite hairstylist and they invite a beautician to the show. I'm sorry, and a client. So the client comes to the show and they're like, this beautician messed up my hair. She did this, she did that, she did the other to my hair. So then they bring the hairstylist onto the show under the disguise that she can now audition to work at Johnny Wright's salon. When she auditions to work at Johnny Wright Salon, he pulls up some of her work on social media and he's like, is this your work? Yeah. Is that your work? Yeah. Is that your work? Woo! And he'll show them like a hair disaster that they have done, and he talks to them. So then he brings the two together, the unhappy client and the hairstylist, and they both state their claim. What I like about the show, they've done a really great job of presenting both sides of the subject. Then Johnny takes the hairstylist and he teaches them what they needed to know or what they should have done better to make that client happier. Then they get the chance to redeem themselves. On most of the shows, they get a chance to restyle the client. So who here has seen the show? Facebook land, which of you have seen To Catch a Beautician? I need to know because I'm getting ready to deep dive into the show. Once again, I'm Monae Everett. I'm a celebrity hairstylist. I've worked with a lot of your faves, such as Tamar, Taraji P. Henson, the Nickelodeon girls, Viola Davis, Lily Mar Hernandez, and I have done a lot of traveling with them, styling their hair different ways. I have about 20 years of experience, and I simply love the beauty industry, and I love talking about diversity and inclusion. So this show is right up my alley because I love what we do as hairstylists. I also love, that we're able to learn and grow. So I don't know if you've seen my other two reviews. They do 2 episodes at a time on the show. So right now we are on episodes 5 and 6. So if you are in Instagram and you have a comment or a question, please make sure to put it in the question mark box, which is right by the comment box. Also, please give me some hearts and some likes so that Instagram knows I'm saying something people care about. If you are on Facebook, thank you guys for being here. Please share this on your page. Share it with your friends. Tag hairstylists that you know. Let's have some open shop talk. You know, I haven't been in the salon in some years, so maybe that's why I'm all into shop talk, but we got to do that from time to time. Okay, so it seemed like both of these shows had a theme of mixing intimate relationships with business. So I'm just going to start off and give the review, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what I think. Okay, so episode 5. The client was Sharice and the stylist was Sharonda. The interesting thing about these two clients is they are twins. Like, they appear to be identical twins. Anybody that knows me knows I'm freaking obsessed with twins. I don't know what it is about twins. Like, I know way more about twins than the average person should know, but I am absolutely obsessed about twins. They appeared to be identical because they had almost the same exact face, body structure, and everything else. But hey, could have been fraternal. Who knows? So Sharice went to Sharonda, her twin, to have her hair done. She wanted to look like Beyonce. You know, everybody want to look like they woke up like this. And Sharonda decided to save time. They were going to do a relaxer and a bleach at the same darn time. Now, any licensed hairstylist knows that you don't put any type of permanent or bleach over a relaxer. And if you watch the show, they do continuously say perms. It's not a perm she put on her hair. She was straightening her hair. That's a relaxer. A perm makes your hair curly. Like, guys, come on. Let's at least get our lining together. So, of course, we find out that Sharonda is not licensed. And Sharice understands that Sharonda's not licensed, but a non-professional does not understand how far another non-professional, what they know or don't know. They don't know chemicals that can't be mixed. They don't know hair treatments that can't be done. They don't know about sanitation. They don't know about sterilization. I remember a few years back, Essence had me on their live show, and they were asking me how I felt about if braiders needed to be licensed, with the 2,000 hours. And my opinion is, if you are solely braiding, okay, I can understand you just needing some form of certification, maybe not 2,000 hours, but you need to understand sterilization. You need to understand sanitation. You need to understand what to look for on a client's scalp. You need to know irritation. Like, come on, it's not a client's job to sit in your chair and figure out what you know or don't know. Can I get some likes? Can I get some shares? Because, I like to break it down on here, and then y'all will come and be like, oh, I missed it. Let me get some likes and some shares, and then people will know to come and join us. Okay, so also, I thought this episode was pretty important for the reason that there are many states that are voting to deregulate licensure. So they're voting that hairstylists don't need to have licenses. And I know one of the states that voted on it was Texas, another was Maryland. Like, come on, we will cause far more harm than good by styling people's hair and using chemicals without being licensed. Now look, I like to give you guys the hard and fast truth. The hard and fast truth is that to do what I do on set, meaning you are solely styling hair, you are not cutting it, you are not using chemicals, you don't have to be licensed. So there's a big debate, like a lot of makeup artists don't have to be licensed in their states. So a lot of makeup artists start to do hair. That's a big debate. I'm just stating the facts. But clearly, I believe that you need to be licensed. Hey, to the new viewers on Facebook, make sure to like and share. So Sharonda and Sharice, I'm a big fan of family. They made my heart happy. They really did. Because I think the real point of this show was that they were sisters who were missing each other. Sharice had moved to Atlanta and decided to start a new life without her sister Sharonda. They touched on something that I'm going to handle very delicately. And no, we're not going to, I see that comment, no, we're not going to discuss their speech impediment. They cannot help that. Okay. What did I say we were going to touch on? Okay, something they touched on was that Sharonda had dropped out of cosmetology school multiple times. Once again, I need those likes and comments so that I know who's here with me. One thing that I'm really proud of in my career, in my industry in cosmetology, is we are an accessible career. When people or women need to start their lives over, maybe they have had mishaps or mistakes, it's true that oftentimes they take up doing hair, but I don't take that any way differently than when people decide to become chefs and cooks. It appears that Sharonda had been going through some personal things and probably some hurdles, but she always found her way back to her love of hair. I really do need her to get licensed, and Johnny was giving her the blues about licensure. And they kept making jokes about her dropping out of school. That was just, a little TV. You never know somebody's situation and why they have to drop out or reassess. Can I get some likes? Can I get some shares? Y'all let people know what's going on in here. Instagram, make sure if you have comments or questions for me on any subject that you put it in the question box right next to the comments. Okay, so then they went on, and Johnny kept giving her the blues about not having a license. They went on, and Johnny allowed her to color the sisters' hair extensions. However, he colored Sharice's hair himself, and I was a little surprised by him coloring the hair, because if that hair already had permanent hair color and a relaxer on it, Looks like it was going to be another tough time, but that's okay. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Monae Everett. I am a celebrity hairstylist. I've been working almost 20 years educating an author. Yeah, that's my book, Stunning Braids. And I do a lot of public speaking on diversity and inclusion. Today we're having Salon Shop Talk, where we're going to talk about anything and everything. But the first thing we're getting into is this week's 2 episodes of To Catch a Beautician. So going back to him not allowing her to do the sister's hair, I found him was interesting. He didn't let her touch the hair at all. I don't think he even let her do the sew down. But you know, Johnny does what he has to do to save this show. What did you guys think of the reveal at the end? So he lightened her hair and he added hair extensions that Sharonda had styled, and they did a curl and iron. Hey, Shantae, good to see you. Yes, Rhea, I see you. I'm going to get right back to that question that you posted. So make sure to like and share. Please, please, please put your questions on Instagram in the question box so that I can bring it up big and see it. Yes, she did not have a license. That's why Johnny did not even allow her to braid down the hair. But I did want to point out, last week they had a kitchen beautician who was not licensed, and she was braiding and doing crochets, and he did allow her to do that. I felt that this episode, they really wanted to focus more on the relationship between the sisters. And I'm a big fan of family. For those who don't know, I'm going to show you guys a picture of my family in the background. Like, that's all of us. I got 3 sisters and a brother and a mama. And I know the stress of doing your family's hair. And that's why, you know, it was really hard in the beginning. They used to stress me out doing their hair all the time. Then it would stress me out when they wanted to go to somebody else and I felt slighted, or if they got their hair done and I didn't like it. It's just so much stress with doing your loved one's hair. Does anyone here do their sister's hair, cousin's hair, best friend's hair? Anybody? If you do, I know you know that stress. I know, like, have you ever had a bad experience doing loved one's hair? We'll come back to that because that goes into the next episode as well. So, episode 6. The client is Mary. The hairstylist is Peaches. And let me tell you, of all of the episodes, Peaches looked the part more than anybody else. When Peaches walked up in there, you could tell Peaches was really coming for an interview with the Johnny Wright Salon. I loved the way she really stepped into the place. But Peaches was being brought in by Mary. Mary has been her best friend for 20 years. Peaches did a weave installation on Mary. And for once, we don't have to talk about traction alopecia. For once, that wasn't the important part of the show. They brought up something far more important on this episode. It's really apparent that when Peaches braided down Mary's hair and began to sew in the weave, she pricked her with a needle. This does not happen very often, but it very much can happen if you're working with dirty needles. And dirty can mean something got on it. Dirty can mean you picked somebody else. Dirty can mean a chemical is on it. If it goes under that skin, you're in a world of trouble. It appeared to me Peaches probably overall knew what she was doing. However, she just didn't pay attention to how tight she was pulling and how she stabbed the client's scalp. And clearly her needles weren't clean. And I want to emphasize how this can happen to the best of all of us out and about. Make sure you sanitize your stuff. Stylists working in a salon, it's easier to just keep reusing those needles, especially in the year of COVID. Sanitize your stuff, use Barbicide, and get new needles. Y'all, look, I'm dropping some tea right here. If you are doing a lot of sewings, go on like eBay or Alibaba and buy your needles in extreme bulk. Do not run the risk of pricking somebody. So Peaches pricked Mary's scalp so bad that it was hurting her so much she pricked her scalp and then sold the hair and the net and held it securely. Mary couldn't get to her scalp and she was scratching and putting oil on it because clients simply do not know what to do. They come to us professionals because they do not know what to do with their hair. She probably used her dirty fingernails, so an opening in the scalp and dirty fingernails cause infection. The girl had to put off her freaking bowel renewal because she was hospitalized with an infected head and had to walk around with gauze and probably, take stuff to get in anti-inflammatories and stuff to get rid of infections. The girl couldn't even have her bowel renewal. Yeah. She had a big boil in her scalp. Professionals, we want other people to respect what we do. We have got to respect what we do too. Part of what we do is not only the service, but it's the cleanliness, the preparation, as well as the communicating with the client on what to do and how to do what better, what to do in case of this. Clients do not know what to do when they have a problem, okay? So they do stuff and you're like, why would you scratch it up? Well, because it was itching. They didn't know what to do. This is why it's our job. So Johnny did a great job of showing Peaches another way to sew in the hair and really helping to direct the needle. A lot of people get lazy and start stabbing into the scalp. We have all been poked and been fine, but then there are also these clients who get stabbed up and they get infected. The girl couldn't even have her bowel renewal. Like, that almost took me out in itself. Almost took me out. Almost took me out. So I also got a vibe, because we're going to talk about it's a TV show. We can get just a little messy, not super messy. But I also got the vibe that Johnny and Peaches were just not feeling each other. Peaches really came across to me like she felt she was better than this situation. She didn't feel she had anything that she needed to learn in this situation, that Johnny, just doesn't know much more than her. I want to impress upon all my hairstylists out here that you never know it all. And sometimes somebody can give you just a little bit more than you had and really take you to the next level. I thought Mary's hair at the end was cute. She wanted her own nasty blunt bangs and weave, and they did a good job with that. It was very big of Peaches to admit her faults. Honestly, both of these shows, I just saw so much in common. I saw a lot of love. I saw a lot of family. I saw a lot of working on communication. I talk about communication a lot. What sets you apart from anybody else is how you communicate with your clients. The average client does not really know good hair versus bad hair, good makeup versus bad makeup, good clothing pulls versus bad clothing pulls. They simply do not know. So you have to communicate with them what happens, what shouldn't happen, and things of that sort. Since they are very new to it, they come to you for your leadership, okay? I also found it interesting. I think both of these clients were really looking out for their hairstylist. For Sharice to bring Sharonda, her twin, on, she wanted to be close to her sister again. They hadn't talked in weeks. And let me tell you, I got 4 siblings. It's hard when you got drama. It's hard when somebody's not getting along. I don't wish that on anybody. Hair should never be so important that you are just falling out and not dealing with people. And Mary and Peaches were closer than sisters. They had been friends for over 20 years. Peaches was in Mary's original wedding, and they touched on this, but they didn't go deep, and I do appreciate them choosing not to embarrass the hairstylist in any way. They touched on, there was a while where Peaches needed to live with Mary, and they are not related. So Mary took Peaches in when she was far younger, and I think that Peaches' ego was just so stuck because Mary had been texting Peaches and saying, hey, look at my scalp, what's going on, what do I do? And Peaches just decided to not respond. This is simply a lack of communication, a lack of humility, and too much ego. We all have ego. I have messed up before. The way you fix a mess up is talking admitting your mistake and saying what else to do differently. You have to have this discussion. I mean, think about how bad Mary must have felt. I took you in my home and you give me an infection in my scalp where I had to call off my freaking wedding and now you won't answer my call? These friendships are not worth giving up everything over a hairstyle. You guys notice we watched this show and we're not even going on and on about how the hair is done. We're talking about the dynamics and what did Johnny teach? Is that a good technique? Every now and again I throw Tamar in because she gives us a little, a little good banter and humor. Tamar is, your good girlfriend that you could call and be like, girl, she my hair up. Or, girl, this came and was sitting in my chair and do you know what she asked for? So, there's a role for everybody. But the themes I saw in these 2 episodes were family and lack of communication. So I see a few comments. I'm going to start with my Facebook because I asked about do any of you guys do friends and family and what's the drama and the stress with that? And I see Shantae Harris saying, yes, family will stress you out. They don't even want to pay the discounted rate. Yes, and I'm going to add on to it. Then they want 58 things. Then there is a miscommunication. They don't know your talent level versus what they want because they don't know, generally they don't know what steps are needed to get the hair where they want to go. And then many times when they're trying to look like their favorite celebrity, they don't even want to keep it up. So yes. Hey, Wright. Hey, so happy to have you. Okay, who else do we have on here? James Cornwell, makeup artist extraordinaire. Known for doing Miss Michelle Obama's makeup, said, hey, boo, preach. It's all about communication. Danielle's here. She said she saw it. Let me tell you, accidents and mistakes happen to the absolute best of us. Ria's telling us a story about, okay, let me read it. Ria said, I found that out. I think she's talking about not being licensed. I found that out when I worked a product shoot with another hairstylist that had her theater makeup and hair degree from college. I was licensed and she wasn't, but she was very, very well versed in behind the scenes hairstyling due to her working in film and commercial industry. Yeah, a lot of people are not licensed. Never let something so small as a license stop you from living your dream. Go get your license. Anything you want in this world, if you are fortunate enough to know the achievable steps to get it, get it. I see some questions on Instagram. So Instagram, y'all watch how I pull this question up, and this is why I've been telling you guys to write your questions in here. Curly Kinky Beauty says, as a natural hairstylist, I'd love to know how to start freelancing. So you're going to start freelancing the same way you would any other way. You're going to need to find the artist that you like, see what they're doing, see who they're working with, take courses. I offer courses at themonetlife.com where I show you the type of styling you need to be able to do, as well as I help you with the beauty, marketing, and etiquette needed for you to begin that career. That's themonetlife.com. themonetlife.com and still themonetlife.com. Classes are instantly available. Hey, April Diva. Okay, so shop talk time. Unless y'all got something else y'all want to add about the show, let's get into shop talk time. Let's talk about what is going on in the world of hair. Okay. First off, I need to make sure we don't have an extreme delay. Can I get some likes, some hearts, and let me just have you throw the word hair in the comments. That helps me to know if we have a delay, and that helps me to not rush through in case you guys want to talk about something, because we're getting ready to get into what's going on behind the scenes and the hair industry. James says, before we do, I do family when I can fit them in, and I communicate with them just like a regular client. They don't get away with anything, and they don't get a service. Pow. Okay, show love, mutant. I really appreciate you commenting because it lets me know that I'm getting a little bit of a delay on Facebook, so that was super helpful. Okay, let's get into what's happening in the hair career. Now, y'all with me? Y'all ready to really talk now? Let's really talk. How many of you are noticing the big leap towards diversity and inclusion in the hair industry? Has anyone been paying attention to the differences in the way that the big brands are posting on social media? Not just the hair care brands, but also the major social brands, I guess for lack of better word, like Behind the Chair, Hairbrain, American Salon, Modern Salon. I'm gonna need y'all to be up on stuff. If you have social media, when I started doing hair 20 years ago, we did not have that. So I need to know who's paying attention to the movers and the shakers, Beauty Launchpad. Last week, Kia Neal had a, as she called, draws down conversation with Mary from Behind the Chair. And Kia really showed up and showed out for us. She discussed the lack of inclusivity throughout the hair industry, from Behind the Chair specifically, and really held Mary accountable. And I was so excited that she did that with such poise and accuracy, that she was really able to push her point and make everyone understand. Like, there was a graphic going around that said the 5 major social brands, which I believe are Behind the Chair, American Salon, Modern Salon, Beauty Launchpad, and Hairbrain. If you look at their Instagram, there is less than 1% Black hairstylist or model. Less than 1%. And I believe it was Modern Salon did a top 30 under 30, and not one of their top 30 under 30 artists was Black. Now look, y'all let me know if I'm getting too deep for you. I don't see no comments, no likes, no questions, nothing. Y'all let me know if I'm talking too much. Let me know if we're not ready to have this conversation. Let me know if we're ready to have this conversation or not. Okay, I'm guessing we're not ready. I'm not seeing responses. So, no problem. This is good. Nakia Fox says, keep talking. Mia says, all right, well, I don't want to talk to myself. Y'all let me know if you want to keep talking. James said when he works with Sebastian, he did education with Wella and Sebastian. They did every type of hair. I remember I was with the team for a short amount of time. We created braids and extensions. Christina saying, preach. Rhea Pettaway says, Behind the Chair leaves us out every year. And Shantae says she follows 2 of the 5 I just mentioned. Okay. So if you're a hairstylist, these are the big brands. You want to know what's happening in your career. You want to know who's in your sandbox. So yes, there's always room to create new and have our own. Like Sadaya Black Beauty Guide is an awesome way to get your beauty business listed. However, these are the top right now. So it's interesting to see when they choose to show diversity and they do not. I appreciate Kia for really having that conversation and letting them know where we don't feel seen, whether you work in a salon or you work like me with celebrities or on set, or whether you work on major productions like movies and things of that nature. You have big markets that cover things like that. So it's really good to bring them out and call attention. You have major hair brands. I'm just throwing out a few that you never see any, and I'm making up, so don't quote me on this, like L'Oreal Paris, Revlon, and things of that nature. Are they being diverse? Are there rooms? Is there room for people of color, specifically Black people, to excel when they're deciding who to repost on the major social platforms? Is it equal when they're deciding who to bring up for their major teams? are diverse artists being chosen? Why does it appear that the same artists are being chosen over and over and over again? So I was excited that American Salon reached out to me and they decided to feature me as one of the top 17 beauty makers. I don't remember the exact title, but something to the effect of causing change in the beauty industry. And I was like, woo, woo, when your big mouth pays off. Because I've been speaking about this for many years, since far before it was popular. So of course, being on quarantine and being on punishment, like I like to call it, and dealing with protests are not where anyone thought we would be right now, but I'm really hopeful that some change is going to come. So Rhea saying, I know so many stylists that don't even know about these platforms to speak of. We have to stop following social media influencers and engage the major salon industry platforms. There you go. That's what I've been looking to say, major salon industry platforms. So Rhea thinks that we should stop solely following influencers. My opinion is slightly different. I believe there is room to follow whomever feeds your soul. There was a time when I followed like 10,000 accounts, and for me, it didn't feed my soul because I found myself being competitive. You know, y'all are my sisters and brothers. I don't need to be competitive. Thank you for the congratulations. I don't need to be competitive. I don't need to roll over and say, oh, this person's doing this person's doing that. How come I can't do this? How come I can't do that? I needed accounts that inspire me, and I needed to learn how to reach out to people. If I have any beauty editors on here, if I have any popular celebrity hairstylist or really popular on the platform, well, basically anybody that wants to jump on the live with me on Instagram, let's open the door. So Mia saying, hair is like fabric. We should master all textures. I completely agree with you. I think it is crazy that there are so many hairstylists that only do hair like their own. And on the MonetLife.com, where my courses are, I have one course that says, so you want to be an on-set hairstylist, where I break down hairstyling by all 4 textures: straight hair, wavy hair, curly hair, and coily or natural hair. That's really important to point out because a lot of people say they don't want to do curly or coily hair, like it's too hard for them to do. But I like to bring out something different here. When I found when I challenge people, and let me get those likes and shares now, we dropping tools. We getting into a lot of kitchen table talk here. Thank you, Rhea. What I've noticed is that the same stylists who say that they can't do kinky or super curly or coily hair also can't do super, super straight like Asian hair. They have a hard time getting that hair to curl. That's crazy. So you're telling me you can only do one type of hair, which is basically the hair that you have on your head? What did you go to cosmetology for? Oh, and another thing I wanted to say about To Catch a Beautician, I really, 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 really need this show to be sponsored. This is 2 hairstylists in the world that didn't have a license. He needs to be able to send them to cosmetology school. This is a great show on a big network, VH1. Once again, Instagram, if you have questions, please put them in the question mark box right next to the comment. That way I can bring up your question and everybody will see your name. So let me drop another tip for you. That is called horizontal marketing, horizontal networking, letting more people see what you have to say. So I saw Sadia's here. Sadia, do you want to request to come on so I can bring you on? Because I see you, boo. I see you, and I'm happy you're here. Mary Jane says, you're such an inspiration. Thank you for the kitchen table talk. Oh, Mary Jane, thank you, boo. I worked in Kinky Curly Beauty says, I worked in JCPenney Salon for years before becoming a natural hairstylist. So I'm a full circle stylist. That's awesome. That's exactly what you should be. I do not understand stylists that feel like they only need to do one hair texture. I managed a salon on Capitol Hill for some years, and it was very interesting how we were just required to do everyone. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, including male haircuts, and that really helped me to go on. From there, I worked at CNN, and it helped me to go here. I learned really quickly how to style all hair textures and move very fast because a lot of stylists who want to begin to work with high-end clientele or on shoots or on sets do not understand the importance of moving quickly. Listen, in the salon, you can make them sit there and wait all day. You cannot do that on set. Okay, let's see who we got. Come on, Sadaya Beauty. Come on, Sadaya Beauty. It says waiting. I know it takes a minute to connect. James said, child, if someone can't do or won't do all hair textures, they need to open up their minds and get their asses and fingers to work. Come on, James. Come on, James. Hey, boo, you look beautiful.
Hey, how are you?
I am wonderful. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Oh, wow. Thank you for even inviting me on here. My name is Isis. I am founder of Sadaya Black Beauty Guide, which is a black beauty guide focused on black-owned beauty brands before it was a trend.
Before this week. So you mean to tell me you've been working on this for longer than a week?
Yes, I have been working on this for longer than a week.
Get the hell out of here.
I have a platform that's dedicated to highlighting and celebrating black-owned brands. You can go on there, list your brand in a functional directory. I do some news coverage on there as well, and I'm working on a marketplace for it. That should be happening in a couple months. And then I'm also an editor and director over at Hype Hair magazine. So,
Hold on. Back up. So you're telling me at Sadaya Black Beauty Guide, I could register my black-owned beauty business for free so people can find me?
Like right now, you don't have to be part of a list. I love lists, y'all. I love the 129 lists, 29 black beauty brands to follow that you're never going to find on this next week. I love 59 black-owned vegan skincare brands. I make them. I make them as part of my job. But I also wanted a place that you can come to and not have to look for a list. Because if you find that on Facebook, you can drop in comments. Do y'all know where those Facebook posts are that people were dropping all those businesses in comments?
No, it's hard to find. Hold on. So also, did I understand you to say that if I registered with Sadaya Black Beauty Guide, that you might include me in a story or something?
You might could get a story. But
Okay.
honestly, like, the whole purpose of Sadaya, the Black Beauty Guide, is to be your passport to black beauty, particularly black-owned. My goal is to be able to highlight and represent the brands that, so if I work for a major company, I may not be able to get you on Hype Hair, but I can get you a Sadaya. I can talk to you, do a profile on you, be able to highlight your business, and then you're also searchable. And just being in another directory, come on, that helps your SEO.
Hold on, you're giving me a lot. Hold on. Did you say once I registered my black-owned beauty that maybe I could get an interview, like a profile on my business that would be searchable so when folks Google me, they'll see I made it in the media?
Yeah, and it's a well-written article, and the site looks good. It doesn't look like, have you ever got one of those features and you're kind of embarrassed to share it with folks because...
Hold on, so did I hear you say you only charge $500 for this?
No, I charge $0.
$0, so it won't be $700 later? Because you know how folks like to get you.
There's a forever free sign up.
Thanks, James.
You sign up for free forever. If you sign up for the $10 a month one, it's forever $10. It'll never go up.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Make it easy and accessible. And stop laughing over there, Kinky Curly. I need to know what you do.
She's a natural hairstylist. You ride hard for me. You show up for my stuff. I'm going to try my hardest to connect you with amazingly fabulous people like Isis. I had to pull her on because, she's modest. We got to talk about how she has been running Hype Hair for years. And I only want to bring that up for you to look her up to know who you're dealing with, okay?
Well, I did that for 5 years. For 5 years, I built the digital ecosystem for Hype Hair. Like, I am like, when I say built, I built. I actually built the website, managed it, and did all the content on it for 5 years straight. I am now, I'm the digital media director over there, and so I still contribute every now and then. You'll see like my cover stories and some articles when I want to write stuff, but I'm a Black beauty director, activist, curator. Like, my goal is to be able to build platforms for Black-owned beauty in particular.
Yes.
I want to see us win. I want to see us succeed. It's $1.3 trillion that we spend annually. The U.S. hair care market is valued at $2.51 billion. But if you count everything beauty. Like,
wow.
in different pieces. And so we got to talk about that. How do we take back ownership and get to a place where, and it's not just saying that it's Black owned, but being Black intentional. Like, I'm here to celebrate and highlight Black owned brand. I'm also here to inform us of how we move with our money. Let's not support brands that don't put us front facing. That's why I love that pull up or shut up. Who did it first? Rihanna did something.
Was it? I don't know who started it, and I'm really sorry that I don't know. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't know who started the pull up or shut up. That's another thing I wanted to pull up to bring up.
I'm sorry, I'll pull that up.
She challenged businesses to show a picture of their executive board and discuss the diversity of their executive boards as well as front-facing people. So front-facing people are people who like represent the brands, people who do conversations for the brand, anybody who literally stands in front and represents the business as well as executives, because those are the people who are deciding who's worthy of being paid and what they're looking for and things of that nature. So the request was to see photos, and a lot of brands skirted it by just sending percentages. To find out, do we have a seat at the table, or are we going to continue to believe that they care about us when certain brands continuously say that they don't? And once again, I have Isis Harmon on, and she is the founder of Sadiah.com, which is spelled SADIAA.com, SADIAA.com, SADIAA.com. And I'm also making sure that it is written on all the comments on both. So make sure you are registering. Y'all not gonna get off my live saying Monet don't do nothing for you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on here. If there's any questions that you guys have, I'm here to talk anything about even getting you. How do you get publicity? How do you get written about? Do you need some help with pitching? Do you need ways to tell your story better at the end of the day? I get so many pitches, and I wish when I'm working with the hair side of it, that I'm just like, wow, I wish they had better images. Ooh, I wonder if they knew if they did this. Ooh, how do we create that platform for you? So I have that here right now that you can get on, and it's the next piece. And I want to be that place where I know where Black-owned brands and Black-owned media are watched for who talks about you next. So before, the major companies get to you, I definitely want to be a place that you can be recognized and celebrated for the work that you're doing in the beauty space and moving the needle forward.
So hold on. So the big salon industry platforms show less than 1%. I think the lowest amount was 0.04% of Blacks, and Hairbrain had the highest amount at 0.7%. So what did you say? Sadiah comes in at 1%, 2% Black?
100%.
100. Oh, I was okay.
100%.
Guys, I wanted to make sure I understood. That's all.
I'm pro everybody making their points, but I'm also very much about highlighting my people and creating a platform and letting us know that there can be more than one.
There can be more than one. And the wonderful part is that Sadiah is building, and it's always great to see something rise from the top floor. We can't help that other brands have been out for 15 and 20 years, but there's there's room for more. So we're not saying we want to take them down or get rid of them. We're saying we want to stand just as high. So share that with all your friends. Share my classes with your friends too at the Monet Life. Tons of free resources on there at the Monet Life, which was at the Monet Life. Here's a quick tip for you guys. Whenever you are sharing your website, say it at least 3 times. You know it. You are sick of hearing it. Other people have lives. Their minds are going in and out of what you say. So that was themonetlife.com.
Did y'all get that, y'all? The Monet Life, MONAE Life.com.
Yes.
She's got some great resources, great education tips. She's got some infographics that break down some basic things. She's got a
everything you need.
Professional and ready to make it.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys about my free celebrity cheat sheet checklist, which includes the new PPE requirements at themonetlife.com. Completely free. You take it, and it'll tell you your new PPE requirements for when you're working on set and when you're working in different places, when you're working at weddings. These are things you definitely should have better had if you're working in a salon.
So that's what's up, Mama. I'm here for it. MonetLife.com. You guys give her some hearts. Monae Everett, Monae Artistry. She is out here really, really sharing tools, tips, and tricks to help people move forward. You know, and that's rare in this industry. It's rare that people are willing to take their time as they're building their brands to be able to bring other people forward. And so, love you for that.
Love you too. Guys, we got a few more minutes on this Instagram. I'm going to let Isis go because I want to make sure you give me all your questions and stuff before we hang up. Y'all always do that. Y'all always wait for me to say, okay, I got to go, and then be like, I got questions. Oh, she hung up. Okay, bye. Bye, Isis. Okay, so that was Isis from Sadaya Beauty. Sadaya Black Beauty Guide, just sadaya.com. Make sure you register your business for free. Share it with others. If you learn something and it benefits you, share it with others. Y'all gonna make me go into my open hand policy. Have I ever shared my open hand policy with you guys? So listen here. This is the open hand policy, right? Every time you want something, you're basically going up to somebody with your hand open saying, can you put something in my hand? Can you help me, please? Can I get some likes? I'm dropping some knowledge now. Can you help me, please? Every time you open your hand, you got to be willing to let something go to create space for what you need, okay? Open hand policy. A great, well-known philanthropist had the saying that you can get everything you want by helping other people get everything they want. So I am working on that knowledge. Oh, and more good news. I almost forgot to share. I newly joined the Farm Beauty team. So you'll see me doing some posting for them, helping to be front-facing. And it has definitely been my dream for many years to work with a brand. So I'm super excited. I have worked with some brands here and there, but this looks like it's going to be something more consistent. So you girls happy about that. Guys, we've got about 5 more minutes left on this Instagram. Now is the perfect time to ask me anything related to the hair industry. I am here to answer any question I don't think is rude while I'm here. Hey, so first class, good to see you. Let's get some likes and some hearts and make sure you're sharing this with people. You may know somebody else who needs this. While I have you guys here, I'm going to have you do a vote for me. Thank you so much, Stacy B. Yes, Hair Love, they did reach out to me on my last post, but I will tell you, I had been in contact with them for years before, so I was super excited when they jumped in the post, but unfortunately, that is not where the relationship came from. This is why I tell people all the time the importance of networking, because you got to build a relationship, and if it's not overnight, it's just like, most people don't get married on their first date and it work out. It's the same way with brands. It takes a long time to make that relationship work. I had a question for y'all. So I'm thinking to do something. I don't know if I told you guys, but anyone who has purchased a class from me, I have a private Facebook group for them. And I currently have all my classes on sale, 50% off. They're instantly accessible. My question for you guys is, I want to reward anyone who has purchased the class and joined the group. Do you think I should give them 1, a free ebook, or 2, a free class in the group? I want you to vote 1 for a free ebook with, conversations on how to get booked. Or 2, a free class in the group where, I'll do some type of hair class and also talk about how to get booked. So I want you to say 1 for if you think my students should receive a free ebook, and 2 if you think they should receive a free virtual class that I will perform in that group. So it'll be completely open to anyone who decides to get a class. It is at themonetlife.com. So I need you guys to vote. Stacy says 1 for the free ebook. I need votes. So do you think I should give anyone who has purchased my class and they are in the private Facebook group a free ebook on how to get booked? Or 2, a free class within the private group? So people are liking the ebook. Okay. Tell me why you're liking the ebook. Are you liking the ebook because you feel like it's something that they can reference later versus the class? They would still be able to reference the class later. Okay, y'all are coming in strong for number 1. Facebook, y'all gonna vote? 1 is a free ebook. 2 is a free class, a free online class. Hey, Brittany, Christine, thanks for joining. Hey, Natural Ladit, thanks for joining. Okay, so you guys voted for 1 for the ebook, so I'm sure the class will appreciate that. And 2, you guys voted for me to do my series Shop Talk, where we start off discussing To Catch a Beautician at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Today was the first time we did it at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. What do you guys think? Thank you for voting, Rhoda. I see you, girl. You voted class, but it's like a landslide on Instagram. They voted ebook. So what did you think of tonight's talk at Tuesday at 8? Does this time work for people? If I keep it at this time, will you bring your friends next time? Can you like tag people and stuff? Once again, remember, Brittany votes class. We starting to get a few people going the other way. Hey, Boss Hair Lab. We're starting to get a few people going class. Okay, all right. It was perfect tonight, the time. I'm happy you said tonight's time was perfect. Rhoda, I'm happy you said you like both because, I don't want anybody to be unhappy. I want them to definitely feel rewarded for taking the class. So I do have 2 classes. One is So You Want to Work on Set. So You Want to Work on Set shows you how to style all 4 hair textures to photographic perfection. And So You Want to Be an Editorial Hairstylist teaches you the differences between union work and non-union work and the styling requirements. And I really break it down in different modules and talk to you about how to get yourself booked and things to do. Both of those classes are on sale, 50% off at the Monet Life. So, thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. If you guys want to slide in my DMs, they are always open at Monet Artistry. If you want to see if all this ish I'm talking is real, you can always go to my YouTube page, which is also Monet Artistry. If you want to check out my classes, go to themonetlife.com. Monet is M-O-N-A-E. Monet is M-O-N-A-E. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.